Hello everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back for another EVE Online video, and in today's video we are going to talk a little bit about the new PI window. This has been released with Into the Abyss. It was also on CC a little bit before that, but because Abyss really took all my time when it comes to testing, I never really got around to taking a look at it or to analyze this new way, these improvements that CCP has brought or tried to bring to PI. So let's get going. This is always the first thing that I personally do whenever I come home and start up EVE. I do my daily PI run every 24 hours, run them for 23.5. It's a very passive way of earning some extra ISK. And these are my 6 planets. What I like right away is that you can very clearly see that your planets are not extracting at the moment. So that is pretty clearly marked here, and you know, it's a nice way to remind you that yeah, your planets, hey, you need to look at it. One or more facilities require your attention. So really pretty good. You immediately also know what you're making where, because you can see here the products that are in storage. For instance, on this planet, a barren planet, I have 2,640 mechanical parts and I have some extra precious materials right here, right off the bat. Something that I do think could be improved upon. While it's very nice that you immediately see the products that you're trying to make there, and you can also immediately recognize the reserves that you have. What I would personally like to see is to have the amounts shown in a more visual way. So for instance, you could have a bar that is the maximum capacity of whatever storage facility you have in there, and then show what part of it is plasmoids and what part of it are the superconductors. And that way it gives you a very quick first glance at, okay, I actually really need to focus on my water now, or everything is still decently balanced. And as long as it keeps filling up here, I can then extract my superconductors to bring them out for sale. So maybe, you know, add a bar with your storage capacity, show for every product what percentage or what part of that storage capacity is filled there. Would just be a nice little addition to this first window, I think, when it comes to helping us know what we need to do right off the bat whenever we open up the planetary production window. So other than that, this does look pretty good if you need to get started, but it has one big drawback, and that is, oh, well, that's changed. Okay, when it first came out, you couldn't make it smaller. They changed it, really awesome. So the way I would do it is definitely make this a lot smaller this way. Maybe only have the goods shown like that, and then you double click on them, and there we go. This is the new animation. Takes a little bit longer. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that we are centered to the command center rather than around the extractors. That is what you're going to do the most. So it would make a lot of sense if the camera would, for instance, go into this position. You could go for the barren launch pad if there is a launch pad. So for that camera center, I don't like that it's always prioritizing the barren command center. I would say if you need to focus on a single building, you can choose the command center, but once you spot that there is a launch pad, that should immediately become the focus of the camera. Another option that I think would basically be the best for everyone is to take all extractors and try to put the camera at the center of all extractors and try to have all of them available in the field of view right off the bat. This is, for me, a little extra click that I honestly didn't need to do before. I think it's because the camera zooms in a lot more than before all of the changes. Now, in order to get going, it's not that bad. I can just double click an extractor, press start extract, and then double click the next one. Start extract, and then whenever I press submit, there we go. This planet is now extracting goods. I can also, you know, whenever I'm below or around 50%, I know that I'm still decently balanced, and so I just keep going. It's when I get to 3/4, I extract my final product and then see if I need to, you know, take steps in order to rebalance my base materials. But as long as we're at the 50% mark, I feel quite okay. Again, you will immediately see which ones you've done, which is a hell of a lot better than in the previous window, where if you forgot which planet you did last, you had to go back, check them, see, okay, these extractors are running. Now, pretty obvious, there's color here. There's nothing that needs to be done, so there's no icon showing that anything requires your attention. Massive improvement on that end. And yeah, when it first came out, I'm not sure why, I felt like you couldn't change the size of the window. So it was too big and bulky, but with the ability to just keep the 6 planets up and then all the materials, put that on the right side, and I feel pretty good about this. This is definitely not in the way for me. So next up, let's go take a look at these storm planets. And here again, now you see the big drawback. Sometimes you just plug down the command center and then you start to look for, you know, the best place for your launch pad built around that. So it would make more sense to focus at least on the launch pad. And again, I would prefer that you take both the extractors, focus on what's in the middle. It's possible that someone has 3, 4, 5 extractors running, you know, try to have all of them. Take the center, zoom on that. I think that would be better. Now here we are approaching 3/4. So what I have to do at this point is take a look at this. 3,790 superconductors, not so bad. So let's see what happens if I pull these out. 10% tax rate, press transfer. And as you can see, we are pretty well balanced when it comes to the raw materials. So for me personally, I don't need to get the very most out of it. I just keep going the way I'm going. And maybe once every couple of weeks or so, I put the extractor heads. Let's press submit. Does it do it? Yeah, it does it. In order to, you know, get on better resource patches. But that is not too important for me here. This is, you know, meant to be passive, meant to be done pretty quickly. Let's move to the next gas planet here. And again, a little bit too close for comfort and definitely zooming on the wrong part of my facilities in this case. So I would prefer a slightly more zoomed out view, maybe something like that, and with a different focus. Again, we're past 50%. So what I do tend to do at this point is to tax rate down to 5%. Nice. So we're definitely going to export these right now. If it wants to allow me to do that. Okay, it did. And look at that. I've got lots of water in here. Would have been really good to see, to have like a little bit of a bar here of your maximum capacity in your storage facility. And then if it would show, yeah, I'm at 50% water, I know that I need to focus on not the aqueous, God damn it, not on the aqueous liquids, but on, of course, the opposite, the ionic solutions. And now, when I am in this position, I do sometimes try to go for better patches. So it would make sense to put all these extractors over here, since we have a slight visual indication that there are more ionic solutions to grab over here. So we'll do that. That looks okay. Start extraction. And press submit. Now I don't mind that that this means that I'll skip water for a little bit. You also see one or more facilities require your attention, and the big difference, oh no, they all actually zoom in and out. So it doesn't recognize the fact that I don't want that second extractor to run just because of the imbalance. Something to keep in mind, but I'm definitely not complaining. Let's take a look at my other gas planet. Again, we are passing 50%, down to 5% tax rate. I think there are fewer people running these because of the situation with fuels at the moment. But keep in mind, if you watch Eve Talk, you know that Coolants has crossed the 10K mark again. So they are making a little bit of a comeback. This is in fact a really good time for me to bring it to the market. It's the best it's been in like 6 months at least. So here at a quarter, okay, we've got some extra water. Nothing too crazy, so I think 3 extractor heads for water, that's okay, as long as, well, I do probably want to try to keep that imbalance in check a little bit. You can already see that I am using way more extractors for the ionic solutions. It's just the nature of the planet here. I'm getting a lot more water out of it. So we just press submit, and then we'll see in the upcoming days and weeks if I am at the right balance or not. Next up, again, another storm facility. Again, you know, I need to do a little bit of clicking, a little bit of dragging in order to get around my actual facilities. Here we're still at 50%, so I'm not too worried about just doing an extra extraction cycle without focusing on getting the most out of it. And then finally we have my barren planet. That's also around 50%. Let's take a quick look at the numbers here. Yeah, that feels like it's okay. 5% tax rate. All right, new owners, very nice. Lower tax rate, that's awesome. And this is okay. It's nothing too crazy. But I think you can also tell that it would be nice to just see from this window if one of your raw materials is really starting to take over your storage area or your storage capabilities. And that has been submitted. These are all going. I am good for another 24 hours. And awesome that we can now basically resize the window at least to some degree so that it stays out of the way. This felt really good. And it's definitely something that I do every 24 hours. I think that outside of a couple of minor improvements, this is a nice change to PI. Now, I have not set up new planets, so all of that should be easier as well with fewer clicks. I like the fact that you will now visually see when there is something wrong with your planets. So, you know, if you can't have mistakes of a facility is not running and not be able to recognize that from the planetary production window. It should be with fewer clicks as well. But as I've said, there's two changes that I would personally like. The first one is the zoom of the camera. Definitely, if there is a launch pad, prioritize that. And the second one would be a visual representation of your storage capabilities and how much the existing products are taking in those storage capabilities. I think that would be very nice. Now, if you have other suggestions, definitely feel free to put that in the comments because, well, CCP is listening and is taking a good look at our feedback. In fact, I have a very nice example for you guys. If you remember my video on CC about the mutaplasmids, I was a very strong proponent of adding the tooltip to the contracts window, and that is something that CCP is working on right now. Now, I think did help is that I both made a video about it and a post on the forums with a suggestion to add that tooltip to the contracts window. And so now this is coming for the Abyssal modules, but also for the contracts, so that you'll much more easily recognize the number of runs and things like that. So really nice improvement, just an idea from a video, made a post on the forums, and you know, it's being worked on. So if you have any really good examples of problems that you're seeing with the planetary production or other things that you would like to see changed about it, definitely put it in the comments. I am planning to add a forum post in the suggestions as well for my 2 points when it comes to this. And who knows, maybe CCP can at some point take that in their small improvements for the game. For now, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I am off to Jita to sell some of my loot that I've gathered in the last week or so, and I'll see you all next time.